Hey, Pawn family, what's up? It's Yigal, and it's Tuesday, and it's about 2 hours before the first Pawn Leaders Masterclass. If you were on the fence and you didn't jump in, I'm so sorry. I'm going to give this crew who jumped in 10 times the value. They're going to crush it in their business, and I look forward to teaching them everything I know that helped me grow the business that we had. I want to talk to you guys about something that's super important. And I keep hearing pawnbrokers using the wrong language when it comes to their business. And language is so important. It neurologically connects what we believe. It connects our mind, our body, our heart. And let me explain to you how that is. But before that, this Wednesday, which is tomorrow, we have a podcast coming out with Stan Lukowitz, who for me is an epic pawnbroker. He's a mastermind member, and he's done such incredible things in his culture, in his business, and to grow his brand that you've got to make sure that you're listening. If you're not listening to every podcast every week, go to the gym, take a walk, jump on a bicycle, make sure that when you're driving to work or from work, you're listening to the podcast, because it really, really is a great resource for you, the business owner who wants to grow their pawn business. So now, let's talk about spending versus investing. So many times I hear business owners like yourselves talk about I just spent $5,000 on new cameras. I just spent $10,000 on new software. I just spent this much money on new hardware. I always think to myself, why do you call it spending? You only call it spending if you hated the fact that you had to do it or that you didn't like what you got, right? I spent money on a bad meal at a restaurant. That's where I spent money. I spent money on some clothes that didn't fit me. I spent money on a trip that I didn't like going on. But you see, if you use the word invest every time that you do something for your business, it changes the way that you see the item. An example of this is I invested money to secure my building. I invested money to make sure that my staff are better leaders and they know more in the business. I invested money in myself and I got coaching or consulting. I invested money in property. I invested money wherever those investments are in your life. There's a big difference between, spending and investing. When you buy an item that's over the counter that you can sell for a great amount of money, that's investing. Not that you spent the money. Well, I had to spend the money on a new sign. No, you didn't. You invested the money because you wanted people to see you while they're driving by. Well, I just spent money on building a new website. No, you didn't. You invested money in a new website because when people see you online, you want to make sure that they have a good image of you. So stop using the word spending and start using the word investing. And another thing that you need to do is you need to start investing more in yourself. You need to start investing more in your staff. You need to start investing more in your building, in your showcases, in whatever it is that you feel that every time that when you walk in, you're like, man, I've got to upgrade that. It's time to upgrade. Especially if you're hoarding merchandise, you have the money to do it. If you have less than $100,000 pawn balance with $200,000 of inventory, you're hoarding merchandise, let's sell $25,000 of it and let's invest that money in coaching. Let's invest that money in better security. Let's invest that money in training the staff. But it's time to use our words wisely. So many pawnbrokers say, I'm so cheap. I'm so cheap. That's because you're not investing. You're spending money. But the pawnbrokers who are investing their money in better items for their store, training, coaching, security, whatever those things are, better website, it doesn't hurt them. They know that it's an investment, and they know that if they're your competition, they're going to beat you because they're investing the money and they're not spending it. You see, this scarcity mentality that we have kind of comes from the client's scarcity mentality that walks in day out. But I promise you, the one who has a scarcity mentality, the pawnbroker who sits with a scarcity mentality, the business owner who has that scarcity mentality is going to have a scarce bank account. I'll say that again. If you have a scarcity mentality, you will have scarcity in your bank account. So business owners, entrepreneurs, it's time to invest money. I don't need to tell you where to invest it because you know where it needs to go. It could be a new software system. It could be better computers. It could be better showcases, better lighting, better storefront, better light, coaching, better, whatever it is, customer service training, you name it. But I agree with you. It's time to stop spending money, but it's time to start investing money. And for those of you who invested in the Pawn Leaders Masterclass, you are going to get a return that you never expected. I promise you that. Especially at this price, because it's never going to happen at this price again. You invested and you're going to get a return. And I look forward to seeing you guys in a couple of hours. And for those of you who are not in the masterclass, I'm so sorry. But what you can do is you can listen to the podcast, or you can join the Pawn Leaders podcast community on Facebook, which is a group. And whatever you thought, stop spending. I agree with you. Stop spending. Start investing. Have an incredible Tuesday, and I will talk to you guys soon.